Just a warning guys, this video contains many spoilers for Stranger Things Season 5 and previous seasons as well, so viewers beware if you've not seen the show. It's finally here, ladies and gentlemen, Stranger Things Season 5, Volume 1. I hate the way that TV is released nowadays. If you've been watching my channel since the very start, since 2022, when I was releasing videos with thumbnails like this, then you'll know that I was a very big fan of Stranger Things, all 4 seasons. But I'm here to tell you right now that those early reviews, don't watch them, don't believe anything that I say, because other than my thoughts on Season 1, my thoughts are way out of date. I gave Season 4 a 9 out of 10.
Are you not embarrassed?
Season 1 I think is perfect. Season 2 I think is pretty good. 3, 4, again, why did I give that a 9 out of 10?
Embarrassed.
That's like a 4 out of 10, 3 out of 10. That season is trash. It hardly has anything good about it. And now we finally reach Season 5, the final season of Stranger Things. One can only hope. And Volume 1 just released. I watched the entirety of it yesterday. And I have to say so far, it's okay.
Not bad, not bad.
It's certainly better than Season 4 at the moment. And probably a little bit better than Season 3. So it's probably going to be right in the middle of rankings at the moment. There are things that I really liked. And things that I am not really into at all at the moment. Now, right off the bat, this season is at a disadvantage because it's following up Season 4, which I think was such a mess, as I said. And one of the biggest criticisms I have of modern Stranger Things is that they just refuse to kill characters or just let them go. There are so many characters now. Characters which we do not need to have, and you now have to try and cram them all into this final season to give them all some sort of satisfying payoff. But I just know right off the bat, they're not going to be able to do that 100%. A couple of characters which I think should have been dead seasons ago have been Mike and Hopper. I have no idea why they brought Hopper back in Season 4. His plotline added nothing to the overall storyline, and I really am not that invested in his and Joy's relationship. And tell me right now what Mike has done since Season 1. He was basically the main character in the first season, and I really like him in that season. But since Season 2, what has he done? Absolutely nothing. Just kill him off. Give him one final hurrah and kill him off, or send him away to another city or something. But no, because he's one of the main faces of Stranger Things, we've got to keep him in there. This show is really scared to kill any of the main characters because they are the face of Stranger Things. But killing a main character would really help the story. It'd add a lot more tension. Because at the moment, these characters are basically just superheroes from Fast and Furious. In Season 1, one Demogorgon was enough to strike fear in all of the characters. Now it's Season 5. Demogorgons are basically stormtroopers. They can't kill the main characters, but the military guys who we don't know the names of, no, they're fine. You can kill them. This show is just drained of tension now for the majority of characters. And I really do hope this is a turning point for Season 5. I really do hope that we actually get some main characters that die by the end of it, because I am just sick to death of characters looking like, oh, they're going to die, and then at the last minute they're saved. And I'm also sick and tired of the characters being really injured, but somehow miraculously surviving. And what do you know? Season 5 is struggling with this already. Now, this is going to be a spoiler, but Mike and Nancy's mum gets severely injured, and their dad as well. And I was thinking, okay, she's not a main character. She doesn't really add a lot to the story. But, you know, she is well known and a lot of people like her. And you think, oh my God, slit her throat, bleeding everywhere. She's dead now. She's dead. No, she survives and she's in a hospital. But what about the overall writing of this season so far? Well, as I said, there are things that I really enjoyed and very intrigued by. And there's stuff which I am just not caring about whatsoever. I am enjoying Eleven and Hopper's plotline where they're in the Upside Down. And I think they've done a really good job at rewriting Hopper, because a guy called Friendly Space Ninja really pointed this out really well. How they basically just reset his character in Season 3. And then in Season 4, he just feels like a completely different person. In Season 5, he feels like Hopper again, the one that we liked from Season 2. and you actually get more understanding as to why he feels this way. And I've just always really liked Hopper and Eleven's dynamic. It's a really nice found family plot line that I've just really loved, and it's full focus here. However, the key word is I was enjoying the Eleven and Hopper plot line. Until the last scene of it in episode 4, which, big spoiler now, they are reintroducing the sister plotline from season 2. AKA the most hated plotline in Stranger Things history. Nobody likes that plotline. Nobody likes the episode that focuses around it. In fact, a lot of people tell me that when they do a Stranger Things rewatch, they just outright skip that episode. And honestly, I don't blame them, because it has nothing to do with the entire story. But now they're bringing it back. Number 8 is back for some reason, which will eventually be revealed in Volume 2, obviously. And who knows, maybe they'll do it really well. Maybe they'll rewrite the wrongs and learn from their mistakes. I really do hope they do. But with how Stranger Things is going with the story at the moment, I really have no confidence. They've also introduced this other plot line with Dustin, Nancy, Jonathan and Steve, where they're now in the Upside Down. And so far it's had like 2 scenes and nothing's been developed. So I'm interested to see where this goes. Just please at least focus on it. It feels like it's going to be another California plotline from season 4, which got no development whatsoever. They just completely forgot about that in a couple of episodes because no one cared about it. And I'm very worried that's going to be the case for this plotline as well. But then you get the third plotline, which is essentially the main plotline with the other characters, which I'm actually kind of invested in, especially with the ending of season 4. Another spoiler here, but Will now has Eleven's powers in a sense. I think it's only being used on Demogorgons and stuff from the Upside Down though, because he is now connected to that realm as well now. And honestly, I actually think that was a really good idea. I think it's been built up really well throughout all seasons, with him having visions and being connected to the Upside Down. It kind of does make sense for him to break free of that and finally harness the power to stop the Upside Down. And then maybe by the end of the season he has this big final heroic moment where him and Eleven and some other people like stand side by side and defeat Vecna. It feels like it's building up to that, and I very much hope it does, because I actually think that would be a really satisfying ending for Will, and maybe for Eleven as well. However, this plotline does have some issues. For one, Robin. I have no idea what they've done to this character in this season, but they have turned her into an MCU quit machine, and a bad one at that. She tells jokes at the wrong times, really bad jokes at the wrong times, and her conflict really isn't focused on a lot in this season. We all know at the end of last season she really liked this girl, and she finally gained the courage to open up to her, and it was really cute, and it's the main focus for her conflict in this season, and I have nothing against that. Give us some character, obviously. Make that conflict of her being gay in the 80s really prevalent, and it really relates to Will as well, because he's queer as well, but they're not really focusing on it. In fact, they don't even mention it for like the past 2 episodes. So what's the point of adding it? And then we get a fourth plot line, which hasn't been focused on too much, but I am still intrigued to see where it goes, because it does follow one of my favourite Stranger Things characters, Max. Now, we all know at the end of season 4 she was left in a coma after a confrontation with Vecna. She still is in that coma, but she's in this random world now where she's in her own memories and Vecna's memories as well. And now Holly, Mike and Nancy's little sister, is in that world as well. And those two are interacting. And we learned what happened, why she's in the coma, how she nearly broke free of this coma. And it's really engaging, because I really love Max. As I said, she's one of my favourite Stranger Things characters. So I am very intrigued to see where this plotline does go. So overall, with the story and the writing, there are parts which I am very much into. And there's also just some stuff which I really don't care about. But who knows, maybe all these plot points will come together in a really satisfying way, and this will be a great ending to Stranger Things. However, another issue with the writing, and I did kind of touch on this when talking about Robin, was the jokes and the humour. For the most part, the humour in this show really doesn't work. There are a few funny moments that mainly involve Erica, who I really like. She was great in season 3 and 4, and she's just as great in this season. She easily has the funniest moment. But the majority of the jokes in this show in this season are just really lame. For example, in episode 4, there is a dick joke, like 4 times. And every time they tried to evolve the joke, it just got 10 times more awkward. Now, as for this season's other aspects, I do think technically it's still just as strong. It looks great, it sounds great, the music's absolutely brilliant, the CGI looks great. Technically, I have no issues with this season. And I do think the acting is overall really strong in this season. However, I have to talk about the elephant in the room. The kids don't look like high schoolers nowadays. You're telling me that Mike Wheeler is 16 in this season, when Finn Wolfhard is 22 years old? You're also expecting me to believe that Jonathan is 20 years old when the actor playing him is 31 years old. But the actors still look like they're having a good time, and they still at least look like that they want to still be in the show. So overall, Stranger Things Season 5 Volume 1, I beg you Netflix, stop releasing shows like this. It's really annoying. Is solid enough. It does have some writing issues, but there are a few things which I'm very interested in. It still has its moments of stupidity, plot lines which it just doesn't focus on because it doesn't have the time, and there are so many characters now, but there are moments in the writing which I do like. It still looks really nice visually, and the acting is still very solid overall, and I am still somewhat engaged. I am interested to see where it goes from here. I'm not going to give this a rating yet because the season's not done, but overall I can safely say it's solid enough and it has my attention at least. And people, that is the end of this review. If you have watched the first volume of Stranger Things Season 5, do let me know your thoughts on it. Did you like it? Did you not? Let me know what you think is going to happen in the future of the season. Please do let me know in the comments. But I hope you all enjoyed this video. Have a good day, and see you later.